Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Bourbon Basement. I'm Ryan,
And I'm Steve.
and we're live on time. We went a little bit early. I do apologize for that.
First time ever.
I was trying to make it to where it was live, like at 6 and like on the dot, and then I could just change over the scene and stuff. But it didn't end up working out that way. So if you go back to watch this, there will be probably about a 40-second
Oh
uh
my gosh.
intro on the video. Anyway, that's not important right now. What it is important is that it is Friday once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. And today, what are we going to be doing for them?
The Orphan Barrel Fanged Pursuit.
Has anyone heard of this?
Have you?
No, not until you all tried it at the last Bourbon Basement tasting.
The Bourbon Basement tasting. So the Orphan Barrel Fanged Pursuit. So of course all that Orphan Barrel does, they're all special release limited edition bottles, every release that they do.
And this one's kind of expensive for what it is, right?
Orphan Barrel in general is expensive. This one is a 17-year-old bourbon and it's 92 proof. And I think the MSRP is about $200.
I will say they're really trying to milk these 17 years. This is kind of along the lines of the Elijah Craig 18-year
This
single
is not
barrel.
this isn't a single barrel though.
Well, that's kind of along the same lines. Like it's 17-year bourbon. It's a 92 proof. A little disappointing. They could have at least bottled it in bond.
Yeah. So, but it is
It is.
it
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 is.
is 17 years old.
It
So
is.
it is. It's 17 years old. Uh, it's a Kentucky straight bourbon. It is. This is. I'll tell you what's interesting about this particular bottle.
I kind of like the label.
It's cool, but what's really interesting about this bottle is it's the first non-chill filtered bourbon that Orphan Barrel has ever done. So
No wonder it was so expensive.
no, I don't think
This is really limited
That's
edition,
probably
guys.
that's probably makes it less expensive because there's less to do in the process of it. You
Yeah,
don't
but they'll
have to
probably
chill
never
filter
do it
that
again.
thing.
You'll never find this again.
Well, maybe not. But this particular one, I think the MSRP is around $200 a bottle. I found it at Costco of all places for $169.
What a bargain.
What a bargain! Yeah,
A little on the steeper side.
it's expensive, but I hadn't had any Orphan Barrels. I've never even tried an Orphan Barrel.
So this one, when we do our tasting, I feel like it's going to be conflicting because it's only a 92 proof. I'm not expecting it to be real hot. So we could say it's beginner friendly in that sense, but what beginner is paying $170 minimum for their bottle of bourbon?
They're not. And as you said, we did try this particular bourbon in our last bourbon basement tasting.
I didn't get to partake in that, but I have
Um,
had this since, so
this
I know
one,
what to expect.
it drinks stouter than 92 proof.
I disagree.
You haven't even tried it.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, okay. I think it tastes not
Behind
good.
the scenes.
Yeah, I was wondering how that bottle got so low.
Behind the scenes. You've had a little bit of that. You've had a little bit of that. I didn't get to do the
I don't
tasting.
know if I had any since the tasting, and I mean, there was just five of us.
I didn't get to partake in the tasting.
But I think there's about 11.2 ounces missing out of here.
I didn't get to partake in the tasting, so I had to have my own. And I wanted to make sure I was getting the full experience. Like,
Well, one thing Orphan Barrel does is they do specialize in aged bourbons. I don't know if they have one younger than 15 years, but like I said, I'm not real familiar with Orphan Barrel.
I had never heard of Orphan Barrel at all in
I
general.
know it's a coveted bourbon. People like to get it. It's collectible because it is limited.
Corey, appreciate you tuning in. Happy Friday to you, brother.
Tori. So it is limited, and I think that maybe that's what makes it intriguing to bourbon collectors and stuff like that. Maybe resellers, I don't know, secondary market, what it goes for, nothing like that. Like I said, I found this one not looking for it. Just happened to walk into Costco. It was there on the shelf, and I was like, "Hey, I know that's a good bourbon, or Orphan Barrel is a
Sought
coveted
after.
bourbon. Yeah, salt after good." And I grabbed it. So, but a little bit. How do you think? Sometimes bourbons have reasons they named their bourbon bourbon or whatever they named their bourbon. What do you think Orphan Barrel? Why did they name it Orphan Barrel?
It's a charity event.
If it was charity, they would have gave it to me, not
Uh,
$169.
it was a good thought
Yeah, it
anyway.
was a good thought. Any other guesses?
No, I mean,
All right, so Orphan Barrel, and it's on their labels, and they talk about it a lot. They're kind of proud of it that they say that they like save these forgotten barrels in these old rick houses they like find them and nobody, they're just forgotten, and
It's
they've gone in and they've got them and they've saved them to share them with all of us bourbon enthusiasts.
it's the Annie of bourbon.
So it's like the forgotten barrel. They call the orphan barrel, and it's a good story. And when we went on our Stitzel Weller tour, they talked about orphan barrel, getting their products and the leftover barrels from Stitzel Weller when they were there and stuff like that. What is it? And oh, I don't know. She's laughing at you.
Wow.
Uh,
It's lingering.
but they talked about that where they would find those lost barrels, and that's how they started Orphan Barrel. Well, as I did more research on it, it's not such a fancy
That
story
wouldn't
like
even be
that.
so much orphaned. That would just be like lost treasure.
Kind of. And if you go on your Buffalo Trace tour, and if you can get them talking about Pappy, they'll talk about. Are you thinking about Pappy Van Pinkle or what?
No, they could have called this orphan booty. Like treasure, they could have called it orphan booty.
I think that the whoever regulates bourbon would probably have nixed that one because it's just not a good name.
I think it's a great name. If I was to think that, I would have called it orphan booty. And
Oh
then if they
man,
shut me down, they shut me down.
this is going to be one of those episodes, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be one of those episodes. uh, anyway, yeah, it's Friday. It's a fun day Friday.
We've not had anything to drink yet.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and get them invited to drink?
Yeah,
Why don't
sure.
y'all
Go
drink with
ahead.
us?
Uh, you should know what to expect when you tune into the Bourbon Basement shows. We're lucky to have audio. So we might as well send it off the rails while things are going well, right? Happy Friday, Glenn and Margaret. Appreciate
Happy
you all
Friday, brother.
tuning in.
All right, so with the orphan barrel, when you start researching a little bit more, arg.
I thought it was a good name.
Anyway, when you research it a little bit more, uh, well, you're thinking of it differently. When I think orphans, I think of kids, small kids usually, and then when you say booty, instead of most people don't call loot or treasure booty anymore, so you
But it's
think
treasure.
maybe
It's treasure. Treasure is booty.
I know, and I agree, but when you say orphan booty, if you
What?
don't have a treasure chest on the label, you might think it's something else.
Well, some people may think of it as orphaned bourbon, and then others may think of it as treasure, so orphan booty.
I like how you think, Russ. You're good. You're a good boy. All right. So anyway, the others know what I'm talking about.
They're there.
The and why it's not a good name. The
Way to make me out to be a pervert.
see you got it then. You knew what I was saying.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
So it could be mistaken for that.
Get your mind out of
All
the
right.
gutter.
Anyway, let's get back to the orphan barrel. So how they actually do it. So uh they say they get Stitzelweller products. It was a fancy love story of getting the old Stitzelweller barrels that maybe Pappy Van Winkle still had aging in the warehouse. Well, I don't think none of that's going on. So the more I looked into this, it kind of destroyed my hopes and dreams of Orphan Barrel. But what it
This is
is,
why research is never the answer.
well, most of their products come from Bernheim Distillery. All right. And Bernheim Distillery, they do store a lot of their barrels at the old Stitzelweller Distillery. So the Stitzelweller Distillery hasn't produced bourbon since 92, or was it 92 or 94? Do you remember? 92. They haven't produced bourbon since
Fact check.
92. So all these rick houses that they have, they're aging a lot of bourbon. They were aging Stitzelweller product that Happy and his son made, but all that probably is sold off by now, or it's how old, 92 to 20. It's pretty old bourbon. It's probably not any good anymore. Probably too. So I'd say all that stuff is gone. Maybe there will be an orphan barrel forgotten in the corner somewhere with some cobwebs on it.
Dana, appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for giving
Hi,
us your
Day.
support for the
Love you,
evening.
sis. So anyway, but they do get it from those warehouses of the aging bourbon where Bernheim has stored some of their bourbons. Now, Orphan Barrel is not a distillery.
Mama's with her.
Hi, Mama. I love you.
Mama?
Or Mom.
Mistaken identity. All right. Appreciate you all tuning in. Everyone that's tuned in so far. Appreciate the chats. And we will hopefully keep it back on the rails for the rest of the episode.
Well,
And
you know that so Orphan Barrel doesn't they're not a distillery as far as they do not distill anything. So everything they get is sourced. They buy barrels. They buy barrels from other places. The
these
barrels that
must
they
be
sell.
expensive barrels because everywhere that is sourcing bourbon are all kind of expensive.
And, well, yes, and a barrel of bourbon is
I
expensive.
mean, where's the prime example of it up here?
Yeah, yeah, they're pretty high. Uh, and then that's the limited edition of it. Everybody's going after these limited editions, and I still want to do that. I want to have a Bourbon Basement limit, maybe a one and only edition.
The only limited edition that we need is the entire Blanton's sequence of the Blanton's Gold.
All the letters, is that what you're talking about?
The entire
You really like that?
sequence of, I think that would be such a flex having the whole sequence in gold. That would be sweet.
All right, so how Orphan Barrel actually gets their barrels is they go, most of them come from the Bernheim distillery that are aging at Stitzel-Weller. So that is true part of that story that we all heard, but it's not going to be Pappy's bourbon. It's not going to be stuff like that. It's old aged bourbon, but it doesn't go back that far. Because
So
this was released in 2013.
this is what we can call the Vappy Wampinkle.
This is, yeah. This is a odd Van Winkle, yes, because they even said most of that aged Stitzel-Weller stuff, the Van Winkle family actually purchased to use as their products, and they, if you remember, they started with old Rip Van Winkle,
Yes.
and so they used most of those barrels. But anyway, so what they do is the distillery will overproduce some barrels. They can't use them. Some of these barrels get aged so long that it doesn't fit their profile anymore, and they go to sell those bourbons. That's how Orphan Barrel comes up with these older barrels.
Imagine just having too much bourbon.
Well, wouldn't that be a problem? A nice problem to
Problem to
have.
have.
And then another way they do it is if a distillery is up for sale or gets new ownership, a lot of times the bourbon that they are storing is more valuable than the distillery itself. So the person that's purchasing distillery says, "Well, I want the distillery, but I don't want all that bourbon you have. It doesn't fit my profile. I'm only going to take warehouse A and C, and all those others need to be sold." So then they source out, they sell all those other bourbons, and then the barrels that are left, the original owner holds on to until he can sell them. Well, those barrels, everybody went through and
Where
everybody
did they put them?
picked what they stay in those rick houses and they just pay
Oh.
for them to stay there.
Now I'm gonna sell you this distillery, but I'm gonna have to rent these ricks out.
That's what they do. I mean, I mean, just like if you overproduce, if Buffalo Trace overproduces and they don't have any room in their rick houses, I mean, they may store their barrels at Bardstown or Castle and Key or wherever they can find a place that'll hold them. Bluegrass holds the barrels for a lot of people.
That's so weird.
So, and some of your smaller distilleries, if they have a big rick house, they ain't producing a whole lot, so they store other people's bourbons at their rick house. But the thing that makes Stitzel-Weller so good to store at is that they're those old metal clad rick houses. So kind of like Buffalo Trace's Warehouse H, that metal clad or brick house. It gets very hot in the summer and very cold in the winter.
Rustic.
And it makes that bourbon interact with that barrel a lot. So a lot of people like that kind of rick house. But so everybody's come in, the distillery sold, the new owner took what he wanted, everybody else come and took what they wanted. Well, then there's barrels left. Those barrels nobody wanted. Those are called orphan barrels, and that's where they come up with the name. So long story short, not that's how the orphan barrel actually got its name.
If you haven't started drinking yet, now, now may be the time.
Oh well, let's see. So that's a little bit about that one. Now, just because that orphan barrel isn't a distillery and they source their bourbons, that's happened since pre-prohibition. So I, the more that I've learned about bourbon and the more we've been doing this show almost a year now.
Coming up
Do you
on it.
know that?
Yeah.
It's been a little over 10 months.
Well, 9.
No, 10 months. I went back and saw our first episode.
9. We missed almost a whole month.
Yeah, but the length of time has been 10 months. So
That's a gray area.
Well, and the more I've studied and learned about bourbon, the more I've learned that there are so many bourbon labels out there that know as much about making bourbon as I do. Because they've never done it.
See, we have a chance.
They go and they buy barrels.
We have a chance.
That's right. They buy a barrel and they may not even touch the barrel. They may go, let's just use the one we did last week.
We're still taking donations for the first purchase of the Bourbon Basement barrel.
Let's use Hartfield and Company. We went there last week. We talked to them. I could have went in there. I could purchase a barrel from Hartfield. Hartfield will bottle it, label it, and give it to me to sell. That's my
Okay,
so I don't touch nothing in the process. I just pay for that to happen. But I do taste the barrel and say what I want. Now, the thing about Orphan Barrel is these are not single barrels. This is not a single barrel. So they buy batches of barrels. They still do a little bit of their blending. From what I can tell, it's all from one source. They don't blend like stuff from Buffalo Trace and stuff from Wild Turkey. They just have one source where they buy several different barrels and make their thing. Each batch that they do, I understand, is between 100 and 300 barrels. So just depending on, so however many bottles they can get out of that, that's what you get.
Well, they're getting more than what you would think, considering it's only 92 proof.
Well, and that's where there was a lot of skepticism about them and their Orphan barrels and their Stitzelweller products because they're like, who loses 100 barrels in a warehouse? You don't. You know, no distillery is going to lose 100 barrels in their warehouse. So it isn't as we go into the dark corners of everything and rub the cobwebs off and find these Orphan barrels. It's not like that. It's more like, hey, we've got extra barrels here that are aged 17 years and they don't meet our profile no more. Does anybody want to buy these? And then they're like, yeah, we'll buy them.
Raise their hand. Well, so the hope is still alive for the Bourbon Basement Special Edition bourbon to come out. I'm going to call someone out personally and individually. Corey, you can either donate the Double Eagle Very Rare or put $5,000 towards the Bourbon Basement barrel.
Corey.
So flip a coin. You can take your pick.
Now, you know, during the tasting, he did bring us 2 double eagles, right? 2 Eagle Rares to make a double eagle.
A double eagle, technically.
Yeah, he's so I think our debt's been paid by Corey. Thank you, Corey. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't get the what? It's coming. All right. Well, which one are we doing? The Double Eagle Very Rare or the $6,000 or $5,000?
No, it's 6, Corey.
It's 6 now. We're paying MSRP for this bad boy.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
So something else I figured out. So I was talking about people that source it. It's happened since pre-prohibition. This is a big time thing. Oh, we got another.
That's the Double Eagle Rare. 2 Eagle Rares together is the Double Eagle
Kind of rare. I got you. So goes way back since bourbon's probably been making. People have been sourcing it from other people, buying it. We talked about rectifiers before on this show. We talked about all that stuff. And it's not even odd to the more modern bourbons. One instance that I got, one example was Rebel Yell, the original wheated bourbon from Stitzelweller. It's now owned by Luxco, but it's produced by Heaven Hill. And Luxco is Lux Row.
Can y'all keep up? Because I can't.
Lux Row is a distillery. They produce their own products, but Heaven Hill makes their Rebel Yell. So that's the thing. And then
they're all
back when, was it the late 90s? I think 96, 99, something like that. Between 96 and 99, Woodford Reserve was purchased by Brown-Forman. So when they took that over, I don't know if Woodford wasn't producing at the time. I don't know the whole history of that. And I've done Woodford, so I should. But Brown-Forman
quite some time ago.
Took it over and they were redoing some stuff, all right, for Woodford. And they actually sourced barrels from Old Forester. They called them honey barrels from Old Forester to put and make Woodford Reserve in those late 90s to keep that product going until they had their own distillate. So a lot of distilleries will source bourbons until they get their bourbon mature enough to start releasing. But even some distilleries continue to source bourbons and to make special releases, to get some older stock. I don't know if they blend it with theirs. I don't know what they do, but I know Hartfield and Company, We went in there. They had a bunch of 1792 Barton stuff. So they're sourced a bunch of barrels from them. They got a special project planned for that. Uh,
Ooh.
I mean, there's a lot of distilleries that do stuff like that. I know we talked on our Willet tour. We talked to them. They make bourbon for other people that come in there. A lot of these small distilleries make a bunch of bourbon. In Bardstown, bourbon, they create bourbon for everybody. I think they just make it for everybody. They're like the biggest distributor of someone else's bourbon that there is. It's crazy, and they make their own. So
Might be a little bit off track right now.
I am. I got into oh
Everywhere sources
every
bourbon almost. Okay.
everything that I did, everything that I read to try to find out about Orphan Barrel. I just went down one rabbit hole and come up, and then went down another rabbit hole and come up, and it just took you all over.
He's playing whack-a-mole.
It took you all over. It was crazy, and I mean, I could still be reading right now about all the stuff that goes on just
still
because
reading
I
in your
looked up
head.
Orphan Barrel.
You're still reading in your
Well,
head.
let's get to drinking then.
All right, guys. Well, I assume that you've already started drinking by now, but if you haven't, we do invite you to pour your favorite bourbon, or if you have some of this on your shelf at your house, or just, heck, it doesn't even have to be bourbon if you really don't want to have bourbon tonight, but we prefer you to have bourbon. But just your favorite drink on your shelf, get a cocktail, get something, just have a drink with us here on this beautiful Friday evening. Had a little bit of rain come through here for us earlier, but it's looking okay now, so start of a good weekend. Uh,
If they're not drinking bourbon, at least they're watching bourbon, right?
Oh, yeah, you're watching bourbon. You're watching a train wreck, is what you're watching. But we're getting there one step at
All
a
of our
time.
shows are train wrecks. You either love them or you hate them.
One step at a time. One step
That's
at a
how they
time.
are. Uh,
You all can't see this, but I actually have a Stitzel-Weller cup. Speaking of all the Stitzel-Wellers that we have, or speaking of speaking of Stitzel-Weller as we have so far this episode. Good Lord, what do you got? What cup do you got?
I got the Doc Crows.
Doc Crows.
The Doc Crows. I gotta get my producer a tiny one.
EDB. Wow. That's Heaven Hill, by the way. Tiny. All right, so right off the bat, this has got a nice,
Yes.
a little. Huh?
Gene Boy commented on the text. Asked if it was. I can't pronounce the first one. Lablet and Graham, Levitt and Graham or something. That's the Woodford Reserve. That's when Brown Foreman purchased Woodford Reserve. That's what it was.
Okay. Well, anywho,
Yeah, you're so interested in history.
well, I was already talking.
You just want to drink.
No, I was already talking. This has a lighter color than most, especially held up like directly to the light. You probably can't see that real well, but it is a little bit lighter of an amber color, and I do like the darker
Now,
bourbons.
okay, so I'm sorry to interrupt, but you know how the non-chill filter, you know that when you chill filter it, it takes that fattiness out of there. A lot of people say it loses a lot of taste, but it keeps that liquid clear.
I think it's pronounced Lebro.
Lebro and Graham?
Lebro.
Lebro and Graham. Okay, thank you.
I don't know. I'm reading it off a screen as well, so I don't know what the pronunciation he had was. Where's the text to speech? We need some text to speech so they can say it.
This bottle hasn't been open but for maybe 3 weeks. When we have our thing? Mid-July.
Yeah.
So less than or a little over a month, this bottle's been
Or
open.
right at a month.
And I can already see, can you see a little cloudiness in that bottle? Okay, I think I can see a little cloudiness.
I think it's
in there.
fingerprints.
No, I just wiped all that off. So it's either just a blurry bottle, but anyway, when you non-chill filter a bourbon, usually it's at a very higher proof because that higher proof will keep a non-chilled filter bourbon good. But when you do a lower proof non-chill filtered bourbon, a lot of times that liquid will get cloudy. So,
well, this is a little bit lighter, as I was saying before, and have been cut off twice by someone over here. I don't know who we're talking about, but possibly the other 50% of the people that are standing up here. But it is a little bit lighter. It does have some very nice tiers. It should being aged 17 years, but I do think that they. I am still disappointed that they proved it down so much, being a 17-year. But if I was paying that much money for barrel, then I'd probably want to get the most out of it as well. That being said, the Bourbon Basement Special Edition is probably going to be no less than $400 a bottle.
you're probably right.
$400 a bottle.
Probably break even price. Who knows?
And Corey, since he's gonna so graciously either donate $5,000 of the Double Eagle Very Rare, we'll give him 4 bottles.
Out of the 5,000. All right.
So we'll give him $1,600 back, basically.
Yeah. See, Corey, it's a deal.
It's a bargain on
You
your
hold
end.
on to those bottles, you can sell them years from now
It's
for
a bargain on your end, really.
millions.
That's an investment that you ought to make.
What are you
But
getting out of the nose on this thing?
it's very sweet. I'm getting a lot of sweetness in this. It does have a nice, just subtle burn there in your nose, but it's nothing. I mean, I actually kind of enjoy it.
It's a very good smell. It's real sweety fruit to me. I
It's
smell a lot of fruit.
it's very on the bright side of the sweetness, if that makes sense.
But do you get any like cherry cough drop kind of thing, like a medicine kind of smell in there? Because I do. I pull that out. And what do you get? Butterscotch. I get a lot of fruits.
I get fruits, I get nuttiness. It's almost like a charcuterie board, but with fruits and nuts instead of salami and pepperoni.
I get apples and peach. I get apples and peach, but I get cherry cough drop.
I
So
don't.
that's something. But the one thing I'm losing, if I didn't know this was a 17-year-old bourbon, I would not think it was a 17-year-old bourbon.
Well, I mean, it's a very subtle hint of oakiness, but I mean, it's really, I don't know if it's just overlooked or if it's not there where they proofed it down or if there's just so many other bright scents coming through that it's hard to pick out. But the oakiness is very subtle. But it is very sweet. It's difficult almost for me to pull out any, it's just so sweet altogether. It's difficult for me to pull out a certain note.
I get a lot of different fruits on my nose. So I went in for one already.
Okay, that one I got more apple on.
It's like every time you go in, you can pick out something different. Like, so you've got apple now, so
Plum, plum,
eliminate apple and go for something else. And you can get something different every time.
plum, pecan,
So that
hazelnut.
tells me it's complex. And I think that complexity comes with the age and that interaction with that barrel.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
Can't do it at the same time. Is that
mm-mm.
what you're saying? I'm supposed to talk while he
You sat
drinks,
there and watched me lift my glass up, and then here he goes.
which made me want to drink.
We're
Cheers.
acclimating. Um, just on the first acclimation sip, I don't think that it drinks hotter than a 92. I mean, there's not much acclimation to be had for me. Everyone could be different.
I said that earlier from what I remembered, but maybe that was where we had a tasting. Uh, we've talked about our tastings before, guys. We had 5 really, really good bourbons that day.
And I've got a sore on my tongue.
Well, we had 5 again.
I'm kidding.
We had 5 good bourbons.
I eat a lot of sunflower seeds, so I think I almost rub my tongue raw where I'm like putting them in my mouth and then splitting them open. I think that's the problem. But I'm not cutting back. Sunflower seeds are.
But I agree. This isn't drinking hotter than 92 proof to me today. This is a smooth drink. It's not really burning at all. Really, no need to acclimate twice before you start tasting. But that's how we do it here on the Bourbon Basement. We didn't walk through that, but
We haven't been walking through it just because I feel like a lot of our viewers are repeats, and I think they ought to know by now.
what if we get that one new one? That one new viewer.
They'll figure it out. Go back and watch the other episodes.
Have you had 3?
No, that was 2.
Okay.
Uh, Either I'm taking a little bit bigger drinks, or you poured a little light.
I think I'm pouring our normal, and I need to pour.
Well, I've
But
got enough for my
we
third.
both had something to do after this, so I did pour it a little light.
Well, I've got
It's like a half ounce is all I poured.
well, I've got enough for my third sip, but I don't think I'll have enough to water down.
Well, I did save a little bit of water.
Uh, I'm ready to start the tasting.
Go ahead.
Oh, you've already done your third?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm putting some water in it right now to let it sit for a little bit.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and share your thoughts as to what your
Okay, so I smell fruitiness on my nose. That carries through to the taste of it. The thing I get most, and brother, you're going to love this, is kind of peach cobbler. If you know, you know. Peach cobbler. That's what I get out of this, brother. I do get some of that oaky taste.
Terry Long is in the house. How about them Cowboys?
How about them
How about them
Cowboys?
Cowboys?
Whoop! Uh, anyway, so the peach cobbler, I get a lot of dryness with this, and I think that's the age too, pulling it out. But I do get some of that char oakiness, which I like. I think it meshes real well. I would say this is for a beginner again, but it is
Oh,
costly.
hi.
It's costly, so I wouldn't recommend anybody starting with something like this.
Unless you're just built that way.
So fruity still, get little notes of leather in there the longer it sets, with some dryness and some peach cobbler. Little charred oak. What do you get?
Who day? Wrong team.
Wrong team for this.
Mistaken identity. Um,
Who day? It's them Cowboys. That's who they is.
all right. So what I'm getting, it's almost true to the nose again, but it's almost a little more savory on my palate. When I first started tasting it on my palate, I got caramel like straight off the bat. And then it was almost, the oakiness is there just enough. It almost feels like a smoked bourbon to me rather than an an aged oak barrel. It's like I were to smoke it and then take a sip out of it. That's
I
almost
can
the
see
amount of
that.
oakiness that I was getting. Uh, but like I said, caramel, Cool Whip, it was very, very, very sweet, and then it went more to the savory side. I was getting maybe notes of the nuts came through a little bit more, pecan, hazelnut. I'm not getting the leather or anything.
That was my savoriness. The leather and the char took a little bit, made that sweet pecan or a sweet peach cobbler, made it instead of sweeter, it made it more savory.
I mean, maybe I was getting Cool Whip, you're getting ice cream.
No, peach cobbler. It's not ice cream.
You put ice cream on peach. When
What?
have you ever eaten
Vanilla.
peach cobbler without ice cream?
You got a comment. All right, so
Tell me more about those peaches. Yeah, what about those peaches?
Gene Boys, he said that would be better than Gene Boy.
What about those
It'd
peaches?
be better if it was cherry cobbler, I think. If I had cherry cobbler flavor on this, I mean, this would
But
be
you
an
be honest with me.
unstoppable.
When have you ever had a cobbler without ice cream on top of it?
You're right.
Okay.
Vanilla ice cream, but I'm not pulling subtle notes of vanilla out of there.
Okay, replace it with Cool Whip. That's what I was
Now, I added water to mine. I'll talk about that a little bit.
wow,
So
you're really
if you do ice it down or you do like to drink it with water or ice, what that did to me is it actually intensified the dryness, which actually pulled that medicine taste in there. So like a cherry cough drink. What have we got?
Corey said that they come in a can where they put there by a man in a factory downtown. The peaches, your peaches.
So
They
the
want in-depth details.
cherry cobbler, if it tasted like cherry cobbler, it'd be awesome. And I will tell you this. So we had this. I get peach cobbler out of this in our tasting. That may be why it finished toward the bottom of the line in the tasting for me.
They lost me.
What?
Corey said a song.
Oh, it's a song.
I guess. You lost me, Corey.
The lyrics of the song. Just
That-
go ahead and
that-
tell us
where-
artist and title.
If it's before my time, I don't know. If that's an actual song, are you writing a song for us about peaches? About the Bourbon Basement peaches? um, okay, guys. Anyway, wow, they're really.
Oh,
I mean, they're going.
I don't know I know the song. I know what they're talking about.
Okay. Do you?
Yeah,
I'm glad you do because.
I know what they're talking.
Let's not break out in song.
Anyway,
Well,
yeah,
I
we're
couldn't.
not.
I can't even think of all the lyrics now. Yeah,
We can't get copyright stricken.
for that, for
Yeah.
me singing, they wouldn't know what it was.
No, because you don't sing the right
It's
lyrics
a
to anything.
totally different lyrics, totally different tune.
Anyway, what I'm getting out of this with the water, I think it was a lot sweeter. I got that Cool Whip kind of flavor right up front again. The oakiness almost kind of went away. I don't know if the pour was just a little small and I put a little bit too much water in it,
Maybe.
but the oakiness is almost not there at all anymore. Uh, it was still fruity to me, but I mean, I couldn't tell you which exact fruit it is, but it is very on the. It's not candy sweet, but it's subtle sweet.
Fruit medley.
Maybe it's fruit salad.
Fruit salad. Yummy,
You know,
yummy.
copyright.
The so with my water, I told you it brought that medicine-y taste back into it, and my leathery taste turned tobacco-y. So it was I didn't
Gosh, you
like it
got
with
Gene Boy's palate.
well, I didn't like it with water.
He
Didn't like
takes
it,
leather and tobacco out of everything.
but this wasn't this in our tasting. This one didn't finish high for me either. This one was either fourth or fifth in the tasting. Probably because it's peach cobbler. I don't know what he's giggling
Peach
about.
cobbler. You and the peach cobbler.
Probably because of peach cobbler taste.
Where's the cherry? Get this man a slice of cherry cobbler, for goodness sakes.
Tomorrow.
We got to get him off the
Tomorrow he'll get
peaches.
it.
Tomorrow, I think I'm getting cherry cobbler.
Oh,
Yeah, she's gonna burn the peach, but the cherry will be there.
the peach cobbler's gonna catch on fire.
But the cherry will be there real good. Oh man,
Sitting in that right, Imogene.
that's right.
Is it?
Let's rate this mug. I think we're about ready to rate.
Well, go ahead. Did you go first last time?
It doesn't matter. Go
I
ahead.
think I went first.
Go ahead.
Okay. Beginner friendly guys, absolutely not. Drinkability, yes. Price wise, I don't know of any one of you all beginner bourbon drinkers out there that's wow. I gotta restart my vocal cords. Apparently, they decided to give out on me for a second. I don't see any of you all new bourbon drinkers. You hear the voice crack? It's like my voice just cut right in the middle of it. It was like no sound at all. Um, I don't see any of you all paying $170+ for this, 170 on the low end, for your third or fourth bottle of bourbon. Um, but it is very good. It's very sweet. I do enjoy the sweet bourbons. Color was a little bit light for me, and that might have something to do with their no chill filter and stuff, or watering it down,
I
proofing
think
it
it's
down.
cloudy. It's getting cloudy too quick. I think.
Well, don't let that fool you. It's still cloudy or not, and it might be his eyesight. Maybe developing cataracts or
Oh
something.
gosh.
But I don't think it looks cloudy. I think it had a very nice color. It was a little bit light, but it had a very nice color. It was very smooth on the palate. Uh, very enjoyable all the way through from the time that it hits your mouth all the way to the back, and even just the aftertaste of it is really pleasant. This could, I mean, this is a very good sipper. With or without the water, I liked it with both. I don't know which one I like better per se. I guess without water for me because I got the oakiness, and like I said, I might have added too much water on mine, but the oakiness kind of went away from me. So maybe I would drink this one neat instead of on the rocks, and I would probably give it 7-1.
Okay, that's a good score. That uh, so me, I'm gonna repeat a lot about what Ryan said there. Drinkability is beginner friendly. The proofage down. There's not a lot of acclimation needed. It goes pretty smooth. It's blended real well. Don't get any of those peppery notes. I don't get black pepper. I don't get nothing
It's
real
not
hot.
spicy.
Uh, without the water, it was pretty good bourbon. With the water, it was less good. Uh, yeah, I didn't like it with the water. So that's going to take my score down a little bit.
But you drink it.
Uh, I would definitely drink it neat. Uh,
That being
this,
said, even I mean, I don't think anyone's going to think this drink's hot. You don't need to water this down any more than it already is. It's only a 92,
yeah,
guys.
you don't have to. I mean, but you may like to drink yours on the rocks or with water, and
And
that's
chill it. If you want to cold bourbon, chill it. Don't
well, you
maybe
can.
don't put this one on the rocks.
The rocks to me, or the water to me, just brought out more dryness, more tobacco-y. The fruitiness kind of went away.
Good question. Don't mean to interrupt you, but he said you may have said this bottle or this about this bottle, but is it readily available to find on the shelves, or is
Okay,
it
so
pretty hard to? Is it pretty difficult to find?
um, I haven't seen many of them. This is the only one I saw was at Costco.
I don't know if you were on here when he said that. He did get this one at Costco.
Yeah, I saw it at Costco, so I bought it because I had never seen an orphan barrel in a store before. So I did buy it. It was their newest release, the Fang Pursuit, and so I got it. Didn't know much about the bourbon. Didn't really know much about orphan barrel, just that I haven't seen them. So I collect every Kentucky bourbon, and not every orphan barrel is Kentucky bourbon. They do a lot in Tennessee, a lot from they do a lot from everywhere. So you got to be careful if you're just looking
Read your
for that.
labels.
If you're just looking for Kentucky bourbon,
Read your labels.
most people aren't like that. It's just the Bourbon Basement. We only do Kentucky bourbon. So, uh, but it was Kentucky bourbon. See them on the auction a lot, and they go for 400, 500. even more, but they are very old bourbons. And for a 17-year-old bourbon, it's kind of right there around what should be. You got uh, Old Granddad come out with the 16-year bourbon. It was $200.
But do you see them in the store often?
Knob Creek come out with an 18-year-old bourbon around $200. Uh, so there's several. There was another one I had in my head that was around $200 for 17 or 18-year-old bourbon. So it's right there at the same price point. But to answer the question, no, I've only seen this in one store, only one Orphan Barrel, and so I did get lucky enough to get it. I'm glad I got it. I probably won't buy another 17, 18, 16-year Orphan Barrel. I would like to buy a 20, 22, 23. They have some very old bourbons out there, and I've never had a bourbon over 20 years. I think 18 years is the oldest bourbon I've ever tried. So I would like to see that 20, 22, and that may be with affordability. It may be an Orphan Barrel bourbon that I try first.
Possibly, but
So-
probably not. These source bourbons, they're
Yeah.
they're kind of high.
You're right. And but they had one series, I don't know if it was Rhetoric or something on the Orphan Barrel. They released a 20, a 21, a 22, a 23, and they did it like that because they want you to taste. They want you to buy every one of them to know what 1 year difference in that barrel does. For the
I'd say
same
it's probably
mash
a lot
and
more
everything
noticeable
else.
than what you think.
The mash, I will tell you all this: the where they got the barrels, where they sourced the barrels from, they don't tell you. The mash bill, they don't tell you. So they don't really give you any kind of knowledge on
A little
any of
delayed
this.
on that. That probably should have come earlier.
It could have, but I forgot it, so now it's out there. But
So you didn't really miss anything. We're just going to tell you they don't have any of that information. You're flying blind.
I do like this. I did tell you all in our tasting, it was up against some other fine bourbons. This bourbon was one of my last choices. It was either fourth or fifth. But with that, I'm going to give it a 6.8.
That's not bad. That's a respectable score. You didn't mention this, but this was up against Old Okie up here. So that was that was in the tasting.
Your this one here, Okie, yeah, that's the buff turkey. You had the high and wicked. The judge was in it. Orphan Barrel.
So
You had
definitely
I.W. Harper 15-year.
definitely some big names. And I mean, this one might have been low compared to these as well if I was in the tasting and partaking in that, but it doesn't mean it was a bad bourbon. That's just that's some high dollar big names.
All the bourbons in the tasting were over 14 years old, so they were all aged bourbons.
But 6.8 and a 7.1, that's not bad.
It's not too bad.
I mean, we've had ones that have ranked way worse than
I don't know if it's $200
that. At least once.
worth. You got
At least
try an
once.
Orphan Barrel. I mean, you want to try it. You want to see what it's about. So I would try it. But maybe you can go to the bar and get a shot. I'm sure bars have these, and you can get a shot of it.
I have said that before. If you find a bourbon that you're interested in buying and you can get a pour of it somewhere, do that before spending $200+ on a bottle.
But at the very first of this episode, I did say these were elite limited edition bottles. Every one that they put out, there's just a limited number, and there'll never be another one.
Nope.
It's gone. Once they're sold, they're gone. So if you're a collector, some people collect every batch that these people do and stuff like that.
Best of luck to everyone that does that.
Yeah.
Best of luck, because they're going to start charging whatever the heck they want. They'll be like, I got to buy it. I've got all the other ones. I can't stop now. And they're just going to keep going up and up and up. That's talk about a rabbit hole. That's something that you can't really dig yourself out of.
I went into a lot of them. Went into a lot of rabbit holes with this thing.
All right, guys. Well, if you all have had this, let us know what you thought of it. Do you have anything else for them?
Let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up. As always, guys, we appreciate you all giving us a little bit of time out of your Friday evening and spending it with us, putting up with all of our nonsense that we always have here on the Bourbon Basement. But hopefully, we at least make it entertaining for you all to watch. If you get a laugh and get to drink bourbon, I can't think of a better way to start your Friday nights than that. And hopefully, it kickstarts your all's weekend in a good way, like it does for us. But all that being said, I think that's it from us.
Yes, sir.
Once again, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. If you have any requests, we haven't even been asking this, but if you have any requests about Kentucky bourbons that we have not done a video on yet, and you would like us to try, if we don't already have it, we'll do our best to get it. If we can't get it, then we will keep our eye out for it anyway.
We got a lot of them.
for you. Have a good weekend as well, sir. Appreciate you
Yes,
tuning
sir.
in. All that being said, I'm not going to blab on, but if you have any requests, leave them in the comments of this video. All that being said, guys, why drink alone?
When you can drink with us.
We'll see y'all next Friday.
How about a hug this week?
No.
Another warm Kentucky hug, man. Get out of there. Cheers.